Vita 3K emulator has now evolved into Vita 3K Plus, and a lot of titles are now already playable with these latest improvements. This could potentially become one of the best PS Vita emulators available, with support across a wide range of Android devices. And in today's video, we're going to do a full setup, the best settings, and test a bunch of games to see exactly how well they perform. So let's get started. Alright guys, this is the official GitHub page for the Vita 3K Plus emulator, and as you can see it says, first release of enhancements and fixes. A lot of games are already working, including Killzone, Assassin's Creed 3, Call of Duty, Little Big Planet, and many more. I've already set up the emulator on my phone, and by the end of this video, I'll also show you exactly how to set it up. But first, let's open the emulator. As you can see, I already have quite a few games added here, and the UI is actually pretty simple and clean. For the layout, you get two options, a grid layout and a normal list layout. And if you rotate the phone and hold it horizontally, the interface automatically adjusts like this. So, I already have all my games added. Before we jump into the gameplay tests, let me quickly show you the important settings. Go into Settings, and here you'll find different options for the emulator, including Core, CPU, Graphics, and more. Under Graphics, there are a few important settings. You get both Vulkan and OpenGL as rendering options. I've left the renderer as it is, but under screen filtering you get FSR, and I recommend using FSR for better image quality. Apart from that, I've kept most of the settings at their default values. However, I am using a custom GPU driver. If a turnip driver is compatible with your phone, you can add a custom driver as well. And if you're using a Mali-based device, you can simply stick with the system driver. So with the basic settings out of the way, let's move on to the gameplay tests. First up, we're testing Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation. I'll tap on the game and this is how it launches. You also get the standard on-screen controls here. Now let's see how the actual gameplay performs. As you can see, the game has successfully loaded into the opening sequence, and right away the graphics look surprisingly good. More importantly, the game is not only booting properly, but I'm also not seeing any major graphical issues. There are a few minor glitches here and there, but nothing that really affects the overall experience. The visuals look great, and considering how new this emulator is, the performance is actually pretty decent. There is some noticeable stuttering, especially during certain moments, but the game remains playable. If you want a little more performance, you can also lower the resolution, although that will obviously make the game look softer. Overall, for an early build, getting Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation running like this is already a pretty good result. Alright guys, I've connected a controller, and now we're moving on to Call of Duty, Black Ops Declassified. I've started the campaign, and this is where things get really interesting. The game boots properly, and a lot of the graphical issues that were previously visible in this title appear to be fixed. With a controller connected, the experience feels much closer to playing on an actual console. The controls are responsive, the gameplay feels smooth, and I'm not seeing any major graphical glitches during the campaign. There are no major interruptions here, and overall, this is a huge improvement for the game. For me, this one is easily one of the more impressive results in this test, and I'd consider it fully playable at this point. Next up, we have FIFA 15. For this game, there's one specific setting you need to change. Simply press and hold on the game and you'll get the customized config option. Go into Graphics, and for FIFA 15, I've changed the memory mapping option to native buffer. That's the only major change I made for this particular game. The other games can be tested with their default configuration. Now let's launch FIFA 15, and honestly, this game performed really well. I'm getting smooth gameplay, responsive controls, and I didn't notice any major graphical glitches during the match. The player movement feels fluid, the input response is good, and there's no noticeable lag ruining the experience. For a Vita emulator, FIFA 15 running like this is definitely impressive. So if you're a FIFA fan, this is definitely one of the games worth trying. After that, I tested Need for Speed, Most Wanted. This one was a little more demanding. The overall gameplay was pretty good, and the visuals actually looked really nice, but I did notice some performance drops in certain areas. There was also an annoying audio glitch during gameplay, so this one definitely isn't as polished as FIFA or Call of Duty yet. But considering the emulator is still under development, I'd say the overall result is still pretty impressive. For this game, I'd give it around an 8 out of 10 for the current build. And finally, we have Uncharted Golden Abyss. Honestly, this was one of my favorite results from the entire test. The game was running really smoothly, with no major lag during gameplay, and with a controller connected, the whole experience felt surprisingly close to playing on a console. For a story-driven game like Uncharted, having proper controller support makes a huge difference. You can obviously play it using the touchscreen controls as well, but if you have a controller, I definitely recommend using it. Overall, Uncharted Golden Abyss performed really well and definitely did not disappoint. Alright guys, that completes the gameplay test. Now let me show you exactly how you can set up the Vita 3K Plus emulator. First, open the emulator. You'll see the Welcome to Vita 3K Plus screen. Tap on Next. Now we need to set up the firmware. For the first firmware file, tap on the first orange button and open the folder where you have your firmware files stored. For example, select the PSP2 Update PUP file first. Once you select it, the file will be added here. Now, for the second step, we need to select the language-related firmware. Tap the next option and select the PSV Update PUP file. Once you select it, that firmware will also be added. Next, we need to add the font package. Again, tap on the orange button and select your font package file. And that's it. All three required firmware components have now been added. Now go to Open Library and your basic emulator setup is complete. To add games, simply tap on the plus icon. Here, you can add different supported game formats. You can add .pkg files, which can also be used for DLC and similar content. You can also add VPK games, including archived zip files. You can either select a single file or choose an entire folder. For this example, go to Select Archive File. Open the folder where your game is stored and simply select the game file. The game will then add it to your library. And that's pretty much it, guys. I've shown you the complete Vita 3K Plus setup, the important graphics settings, and the gameplay performance of several different games. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more emulator updates. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, peace out.